They say a man's downfall don't always come with a bang or a bullet. Sometimes it comes with a nod, a silence, and a voice that don't know when to hush. In the scrub land between Dry Gulch and Sparrow's Roost, where the wind knew every secret, lived a man named Ezra True, sharp of eye, firmer of opinion, and sure as sunrise that he was always right. Ezra True wasn't born mean. Raised in the foothills by a father who fixed fences better than he fixed feelings, Ezra learned early that being right was the safest way to be left alone. As he grew, so did his knack for correction. Folks said he could spot a crooked nail from 100 paces and an incorrect opinion from even further. Grammar, ethics, horseshoe angles, marital squabbles, Ezra always had a better way for all of it. He called it principle. About everyone else called it unbearable. Take the time Miss Greta May was proposed to in front of the whole town during the harvest fair. Her beau, Billy Tanner, got down on one knee with a ring made from a bent horseshoe, symbolic, he said, of their lucky meeting. Greta said yes. The crowd cheered until Ezra cleared his throat. "Actually," he said, stepping onto the stage, "that's a mule shoe. It's backward, too." The cheers dried up. Greta's face flushed. Billy's hand clenched. Ezra meant it as a helpful correction. But that day, something shifted. Folks still nodded at him out of habit, but conversation shriveled when he passed. Like the fly spoiling the basin of ointment, Ezra's ego had soured everyone's perception of him. Then came the stranger. Silas Knox rode into town with a gray duster, a mule named Elmer, and stories long as winter nights. He listened more than he spoke, had the patience of a worn leather Bible, and a voice smooth as creek water. Folks took to him like bees to blossom. Ezra didn't. When Silas gave a talk about tracking deer, Ezra interrupted, "You're leaving out wind direction." Silas nodded. "You're right." Ezra blinked. That wasn't the plan. Next day, Silas showed how to splice rope. Ezra cut him off again. "You forgot to counter-twist." Again, Silas smiled. "Good catch." This continued for a week. Ezra's corrections grew louder, more frequent, as if the sound of his own voice might prove his worth. Then came the final straw. Silas invited folks to a fireside story circle. Ezra showed up with a stack of books and a sneer. "These here prove half your tales are hogwash." Silas looked at the crowd, then at Ezra. "You win, Ezra. You've got the facts." Ezra's face lit with triumph. "But facts aren't the only way to know a thing," Silas added. "You ever lost something so deep you couldn't chart your way out?" Ezra scoffed, said nothing. But that night, something gnawed at him, something that just wouldn't leave him alone. He left town before dawn, packed a bedroll and rode east, saying nothing to anyone. For weeks he wandered, in search of what? He didn't know. Suddenly a storm overtook him in the Badger Hills. His mule was spooked and bolted, taking most of his supplies. Ezra managed to stagger into a narrow canyon seeking shelter and found none. He stayed there 3 days, trapped by rising water and cold stone, with only wind and his own voice echoing back. No food, little sleep. His hands blistered, his throat burned. He screamed some of the worst curses into the silence. But that's all it was. Silence. It didn't argue, didn't correct, didn't praise. It just waited. On the second night in the canyon, he caught his reflection in a pool. Gaunt, wild-eyed, lips cracked from wind and pride, he was horrified by the sight. Just then a memory stirred. His mother was gently sewing a patch on his trousers, smiling at his mismeasured attempt to do the same. She hadn't corrected him. She thanked him for his help. The thought made him weep tears of sorrow, regret, joy, and just about everything else in between. The rain stopped the third morning. Ezra clawed his way out of the canyon, weak but unburdened. He followed the stars back west, not by compass, but by feel. He didn't speak of the canyon when he returned to the town, but when arguments flared in town, he no longer joined them. He brewed coffee instead. He asked questions, listened with eyes soft as creek water. A young blacksmith asked him once, "What made you change, Mr. True?" Ezra chuckled and said, "I got in a fight with a canyon, and I lost."